In this video, we're going to talk about Carlos Sainz, the smooth operator, his best moments in Formula 1.
But made it through into Q3, starts 10th. Carlos Sainz is trying to make up places.
Alright, so here you can see Carlos Sainz at Imola making up so many places from the start. The way he shoots off, such a great start from the Spaniard and gains so many places and he's off to a flyer.
Alonso's not going to make it easy, but a fellow Spaniard, and I don't think he'll put too much of a fight.
The Spanish battle has been won by Carlos Sainz.
Alright, so here you can see Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso going at it at Imola once again, and yeah, I mean, it was an interesting battle. Carlos Sainz came out on top. A nice little exchange between the two drivers.
Tifosi roaring on and giving heat to Carlos Sainz as he sets now after Kevin Magnussen. There goes Sainz, bouncing away, but he can put up with a porpoising as 6th place is his.
Okay, so here you can see Carlos Sainz against K-Mag once again at Imola. Just gets past him, and like I say, he has the ability to get past some really experienced drivers like Kevin Magnussen. I know Carlos is in that Ferrari, which is obviously quicker than the Haas, but even still, like, he did well to get past him, and yeah, he's good at overtaking. Probably the top 6 best drivers in F1 at the moment, I would say.
And he's getting closer, Ricciardo moves over to the right-hand side, but really, that was not a fight. Daniel Ricciardo was equipped to fully fight.
Here you can see Lando going up against Carlos Sainz. Against Carlos Sainz, the two former teammates at McLaren, and Carlos does well to get past him. Yeah, they're good friends, but in this case, when they're on the track, they're rivals. They want to beat each other on the track, and yeah, Carlos just got the better of Lando there.
So Carlos Sainz goes over the line and is on provisional pole.
Verstappen's middle sector not particularly good, and he looks a little bit out of shape in the final sector too.
So can Verstappen get that provisional pole back again? No, he can't. Doesn't improve his time.
Okay, so in this video, it's Carlos Sainz versus Max Verstappen for pole at Silverstone. Obviously, Carlos and Max going at it to get that first place on the grid, starting and going into the race. And obviously, you'd expect Max Verstappen to get pole ahead of Carlos because he's a better driver and a better car, but Carlos Sainz did well to get pole and eventually went on to win the race.
Here at Silverstone, British Grand Prix, lights out, away we go. They weren't held for long. Sainz comes over to cover off Verstappen, almost pushing him into the pit wall, but he might have to yield this. Does make the move around the outside and stays ahead.
At the start of the Silverstone Grand Prix, you can see Carlos and Max going at it. See Carlos and Max off the start, a really good battle between them, and obviously you'd expect Max Verstappen in that Red Bull to go past Carlos, go surging past because the Red Bull is a better car, but once again Carlos comes out on top even when you wouldn't really expect it. Yeah, some really good driving from Carlos there.
Russell's had to defend into 8 and 9, exactly where Sainz wanted to put him in there, so they're going to get the benefit. Look at the difference in the traction now.
Yeah, that's the advantage Sainz has got on those medium tyres, extra grip. They're going to go wheel to wheel into scene here. George Russell's not giving this one up, but Carlos Sainz has that extra speed to go blasting round the outside.
So here you can see Carlos Sainz and George Russell going at it. Basically, like I said, George in that Mercedes. Last season, I'd say the Ferrari was definitely better than the Mercedes car. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc were in better machinery than George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. You could see it there. Carlos just easily gets past George. Obviously, George did well to defend. He did all he could to defend and hold off Carlos. Like, ultimately, you know, Carlos was just too much for him. Went past George, and there was a fairly routine overtake for Carlos Sainz.
So there is that train of cars that Sainz is in the middle of. A car ahead of him is his old buddy, his old teammate Lando Norris. Norris could be a little bit vulnerable into the chicane. There's a gap right down the inside, and Sainz says, thank you very much, I will take that. And now he's up into the top 6.
You can see Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris at Monza. Once again, obviously those guys were two very close friends, but on the track they're very competitive. And you see Carlos just getting the better of Lando there once again as they go around the chicane at Monza. And it was really good. It was really good from Carlos, the way he managed to just get past Lando there. Because let's make no bones about it. Lando Norris is a fantastic driver, but Carlos Sainz is in a better car. But even still, he did well there. Just get past Lando.
Always fun.
We ride on board with the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz, who was behind Lance Stroll. He's not behind Lance Stroll anymore. That was lovely from him.
So in this clip, you can see Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll going at it. The Aston Martin last season was nowhere near as good as what it is now. Now it's a whole different beast, a whole different kettle of fish, whereas last season was pretty terrible, back when Stroll and Vettel were the Aston Martin pairing. So Carlos Sainz relatively easily gets past I mean, Lance Stroll obviously isn't the best driver in the world. Carlos Sainz is a much better driver, so he relatively easily, fairly straightforwardly gets past Lance there.